Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Discover Your Dreams. This space is rooted in the grounded life philosophy, where inner peace becomes the foundation for purposeful living. Here, we focus on regulation, awareness, and conscious self-leadership as a way of returning to ourselves and meeting life from a grounded place. Before we talk about clarity, I want to slow this moment down. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale. Notice your body, because what I'm about to say might challenge something you've believed for a very long time. Clarity does not come from thinking harder. It comes from feeling safer, which means that most of us have it backwards. We were taught, just figure it out. Get clear on what you want. Decide and commit. But when your nervous system doesn't feel safe, clarity feels impossible. Your thoughts loop. Your options blur. Every decision feels loaded. And then we assume, I must not know what I want. But often the truth is that your system doesn't feel safe enough to want anything yet. I want to tell you a simple truth. When the nervous system is in defense, perception narrows. You don't see possibilities, you see threats. You don't see options, you see risks. This isn't mindset, this is biology. Which is why this is where manifestation teachings get misunderstood. Because manifestation isn't about forcing clarity. It's about stabilizing your internal state enough that clarity can reveal itself. I have studied many great teachers and learned that your outer world reflects your inner state. But here's another way of saying that. Your perception reflects your nervous system. If your body feels unsafe, your assumptions will tilt toward lack. If your body feels stable, your assumptions shift towards possibility. You don't manifest from panic. You manifest from embodied expectation. And expectation requires safety. There was a period in my life when I desperately wanted clarity. I kept asking myself, what's next? What's my direction? What am I supposed to do? I journaled. I visualized. I made lists. But every answer felt unstable. Because underneath the question wasn't curiosity. It was fear. I didn't want clarity to expand my life. I wanted clarity to calm my anxiety. And clarity doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to stability. The turning point wasn't a breakthrough idea. It was nervous system regulation. When I stopped demanding answers and focused instead on grounding, sleeping well, moving my body, reducing urgency, creating predictability, the fog lifted. Not because I forced clarity, but because my body stopped scanning for danger. And when the scanning stopped, I could finally see. Uncertainty activates the survival system. The mind says, if I can just know what's going to happen, I'll be safe. But safety doesn't come from knowing. It comes from trusting your capacity to handle not knowing. Clarity is a byproduct of trust. Think of something in your life right now that feels unclear. Notice how your body feels when you think of it. Is there tightness? Urgency? Pressure to decide? Now imagine your system softening by just 10%. That's it, just 10%. Notice what shifts. One of my favorite teachers, Neville Goddard, spoke about living in the end. But what does that actually require? It requires the nervous system to tolerate the feeling of having what you desire. If having what you desire feels unsafe, you will unconsciously resist it. So, the real work is not getting clear. It's becoming safe enough to hold clarity, safe enough to hold expansion, to hold visibility, to hold stability. Safety changes what feels possible. There was another moment in my life where an opportunity appeared. It was aligned. It was exciting. It was exactly what I thought I wanted. And I hesitated. Not because it wasn't right, but because my system wasn't regulated. Expansion felt unsafe. More visibility meant more responsibility. More growth meant more exposure. I thought I lacked clarity, but what I actually lacked was safety. Once I worked with my nervous system, once I stabilized, the decision became obvious. Clarity didn't arrive through thinking. It arrived through grounding. There's a real order to how change happens. It starts with regulation, which creates the conditions for safety. Safety shifts how you see things, and that shift brings clarity. Only then does meaningful action take hold. When safety is missing, action gets driven by fear. When safety is present, action feels natural. Let me ask you honestly, when you feel unclear, is it because you don't know, or because you don't feel safe? If you feel comfortable sharing, comment one word that describes how you feel right now. Whatever fits, no explanation needed. When you stop demanding clarity, you remove the pressure that blocks it. When you regulate your nervous system, your perception widens. And when perception widens, new options appear. This is manifestation in embodied form, not forcing the future, but stabilizing the present. You don't need to solve your life today. You need to feel safe enough in your body that your life can reveal itself. Clarity is not a task. It's a response, and it comes after safety, not before. If clarity feels distant right now, don't push harder, ground deeper. Because when your nervous system feels safe, what was foggy becomes visible. And when you can see clearly, choice returns. Wherever you are on your path, remember, you don't have to force clarity or chase purpose. When you ground yourself, life begins to respond. I'll see you next time.